Welcome to the Nutra Voice, the podcast that cuts through the clutter of supplements to help you make confident and informed decisions. I'm Evelyn Reinson.
And I'm Chris-Maré.
And today we're joined by Karen Todd, an expert with over 30 years of experience in the supplement industry. Karen started her journey as a dietitian and has since made a remarkable impact in the nutraceutical space. Karen, it's a pleasure to have you with us.
Hi, thank you for having me. Great to be here.
Karen, you've been a part of the supplement industry for decades. Can you start by telling us how consumers' needs and expectations have changed since you first started in the early 90s?
Consumers' needs have basically the whole supplement industry has evolved and changed based on where consumers are looking for. And they are looking for more personalized nutrition. They really want to see things that are developed just for them. They don't want to take a generic ingredient that would be the same ingredient their mother was taking or their brother was taking. They want to take something that's personalized. So it's really changed over time. There's not the generic products out there as much anymore. They still exist. But even the sports nutrition area has really expanded from muscle building products to weightlifting to runners, exercise performers, all different types of products that are out there to meet almost anyone's expectations.
Building on that, do you think that these shifts have been driven more by advancements in science, or are they a reflection of changing lifestyle and environmental factors?
I think a little bit of both. With the science certainly has evolved. Now you see more and more clinical studies on the branded ingredients and on the finished products. And that has made a shift on consumers actually trusting the products a little bit more. But consumers are demanding those. They want the products to be studied. They want the efficacious ingredients that have been used in those clinical studies. So I would say it's both science and both what the consumers are demanding for.
As someone who began their career as a dietitian, how do you see the role of supplements in supporting a healthy lifestyle today? And are there specific gaps in modern nutrition that supplements are uniquely suited to address?
Absolutely. And consumers look at dietary supplement as filling the gaps that they're missing in their diet. And you can't certainly get all the nutrition you need from food. We know that. We know 90% of the population, even in the US, doesn't get all their nutrition through food. So they must supplement, they must get it somewhere else. And so that brings on the role of supplements and filling those gaps. We even know today the soil is depleted. We're not getting as much nutrition from fruits and vegetables as we thought they were. So again, supplements do come in as helping fill that gap.
Karen, you've probably noticed when a consumer is starting a diet, they understand that time and consistency are key in seeing results. However, with supplements, there's sometimes an expectation that there would be an instant effect. How can we help consumers understand what supplements can and cannot do?
I think the instant results that consumers are maybe looking for, they were looking for that dopamine rush of this is going to fix what's wrong with me. Supplements don't work that way. In general, they're preventative in nature. They take time for things to happen within your body. So setting up those expectations is really important. So consumers know not to trust something that's going to instantly turn on something in their body. Caffeine is a little different because caffeine does turn things on quickly within 30 minutes. So that's something that can be used to do that. But again, it's not part of those supplements that in the diet that people are looking for. So setting up expectations is really important, and really figuring out, is that the right product for them as well. I think that helps determine their help set those expectations a little bit better.
Now, on the other side, another challenge we see is that some people hesitate to take supplements out of concern for over-supplementing or experiencing side effects. What advice would you give to consumers on balancing supplementation with their current diet and overall health needs?
Sure. I was thinking about this before. I usually tell consumers if they're looking at their diet and they're trying to figure out, like, what do I need to supplement? Start recording things, write down what you've eaten. And there's so many apps out there you can put in either online or within your phone of here's what I ate today. and it will show you where your dietary gaps most exist. So that's one way to start at looking at your diet and where to supplement. Um, and that's probably the number one best advice to give someone just in general. But if they do have some health concerns or predisposed to certain conditions, they need to look at their life stage, like how old are they? Are they exercising readily? Or are they exercising 3 times a week? So look at their age, their lifestyle, and then what other things they do put into their body other than food. Maybe they consume alcohol. Maybe they smoke. Maybe they eat deep fried fatty foods. All these things can have an impact on different nutrients within their body.
In episode 1, we touched on some common myths and misconceptions in the supplement space. Are there, and there's plenty out there, right? Are there any specific myths that you would like to see debunked?
The one that keeps popping up are supplements are not regulated. We've heard that that is not true. It just keeps getting perpetuated by other folks out there that don't really understand the regulation that is done within the supplement industry. And I think that's something we as an industry need to overcome. And people need to know that our products are safe to consume. And if we do see someone that's not following those conditions, we need to report them and get them knocked out of the playing field or knocked out of the marketplace. But that's probably the one that really burns me when I read that. My first reaction is this person really doesn't understand what they're talking about. Let's try to educate them and get them to understand the industry a little bit better.
No, that's so true. And with your extensive experience, I'm sure you've seen the industry evolve significantly over the years. What trends or advancements are you most excited about, and how do you think they'll benefit consumers in the future?
I think the personalized nutrition, I said it earlier, but I think that really is going to be important. There's so many more tests that are available for consumers to just get the blood work done, or some DNA tests or metabolic tests. Those additional measures can have a significant impact on then what they can put back into their diet through supplementation. Even the wearables, the watches, the rings, these little things that people can do on their own, which they don't need to go to a doctor to have a little assessment of their own. Now, explaining it and taking it to that next step, maybe that's where going to a dietitian, a naturopathic physician, even pharmacist or medical doctor could help them as well.
There's many health categories for supplements out there, and we see innovation in each of the category, brain health, heart health. But do you think that one of the categories needs a bit more of attention, where some innovation is pretty much due? Do you see that in the market or a need for that?
Sleep, absolutely. And it's not one that I actually have anything to do with, but I think sleep is underrated. But people don't know how to get adequate sleep. Even like melatonin will help you fall asleep, but won't keep you asleep. And you don't really want to take more. Like, they're like, here's a 5 here's a 10 or micrograms. You don't need that. You don't really need that. But sleep is a way to, if we all got the amount of sleep we need, like we would be like so vibrant.
Now, we always talk about how when we go into a supplement store or look online, we're inundated. And even being in the industry, we're not sure how to pick things. And so my Google is Chris-Maré. So I usually call Chris-Maré from the aisles of the store. I send snapshots. Now, how do you decipher through the mountains of products on the shelves?
There's quite a few. And in some areas, they do classify by condition or age. So you can look, okay, this one's better for me because it's for my age group, or I'm looking for something for brain health, heart health, whatever it might be. But then once you get to that section, what do you do? Well, there's 30 products. Yeah. I always look at the front panel, see what is being said simply and truthfully. If there's products that are making claims to increase your IQ or make you ace the ACTs the next day or SATs, whatever test it might be, that's not like, that might be interesting and get your attention, but that is not a structure function claim that would be allowed on any supplement bottle. And a reputable company would not be using that either. So I would knock those out first. The ones that are probably getting your attention the most and the most like shocking, like, oh, probably don't pick those first. Go to the ones that are a little more bland but safe sounding, helps to improve, helps support. Those are words that are approved, and as we know in the industry, they're approved, but a consumer might not first pick up on that. So those are more safe sounding words. And because supplements don't work overnight, it takes time. They just need to see what types of things work with their body over a period of time, not one day. Maybe it is a month. It could possibly be 2 months. I've seen companies now say take this for 3 to 6 months to see how you're doing. And then talk to other people that once you're taking it, talk to other people and let them know you're taking it. So if they see an effect, an example, we did a clinical study a few years ago, and the women in the study came back to us and said, what was in that product? Because I didn't notice a difference, but my husband sure did. And my husband said, what are you taking? Because you have just transformed this woman. So look to other people to tell you how, what do you think? Do you think I'm addressing this issue a little bit better? What about from their side? So get advice and feedback from friends and family from that standpoint too.
So, and something that you mentioned just sort of briefly is when the consumer are looking at these structure function claims. So on the label of the bottle, it claims sometimes a miracle and sometimes it's reasonable. Is there any resources that you would recommend to the consumer to go to reference and see if those claims are valid and if they make sense?
Great question. There are some organizations out there that are third-party organizations that do analyze supplements. Consumer Labs is one of them, but they're not going to dig deep into the actual ingredients and verify that and validate the claims. I like to tell consumers to see if they have a website. Look for those ingredients, and if they're branded ingredients, typically there's science behind them. Go to those websites, read the studies, read the science, because that will tell you what is allowed to be said about that product. A finished product company or even an ingredient supplier is not going to put something on the internet that's reputable. They're not going to put it out there on the internet unless it can be said. So that will give them extra validation to know that, was this the product studied? How was it studied? Was it studied at the dose that's in my product? That will help them.
Thank you. I think that helps consumers sort of navigate that space.
And I like your piece of advice that says to look past the most attractive products on the shelves.
It's hard.
We've definitely talked about the packaging trap, right? So, just the marketing and the packaging feel, it looks luxurious. It's very, appeasing to the eye, and then you're drawn to that. So it's definitely a trap. I think even if you understand supplements and ingredients, I think we're all still drawn to the pretty packaging.
It is. I get drawn in all the time. And the new ones that come in, like, what's that? Like, I need to try it. I need to see. I need to read it. I need to see if it's valid. But that's what's great about being online too. You can see something, do all your research online, and then go buy it, or buy it through delivery service. However, I know I get a lot of things delivered next day. So instant gratification.
We're very spoiled here.
We're very spoiled. And it's not just in the supplement aisle anymore. The beauty aisle has supplements. Who knew? And I wouldn't have known if I didn't go. So I went to the beauty aisle, and there they were. So that was kind of exciting to see that they're expanding out of the normal shelves.
Is this just a trend, or is there something to be said for this?
I think there's definitely some legitimate science out there, and there's definitely something to be said.
I have one more question. You started off as a dietitian and then moved into the nutraceutical space. And I understand that the landscape for supplements, especially in the US, has changed a lot since the 90s till now. And of course, social media has sort of played a part in that. Have you seen a change in how consumers used to think about supplement versus what they think about them today in the modern world with social media, TikTok, Instagram, all those things?
Absolutely. Now we know 74% of US consumers take supplements right now. In the 90s, that probably was in the 50s, if I can go back to that. And they were probably only taking vitamin C when they felt they were getting sick, and a multivitamin, if that. So supplement use has increased. It has really changed over time, and I think for the better, for all those great reasons about new science, and consumers like demanding that they're looking into things more and more and more, and educating themselves. So the consumers are elevating the science with us, together. So it's not it's almost a nice balance, and I think we're just going to continue to see that grow and grow.
I do think that consumers are taking their health into their own hands, and they're looking up the symptoms and how they feel, and looking at the root causes of those things, and then maybe trying to find natural ways to combat those issues versus going to a physician and getting prescription medicine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And we'll think about it. Before, the only time you got your health checkup was that once a year checkup. And it was like, hope it's good. Now you kind of know before, like, yeah, I think there's some things I need to do, but you don't wait for that checkup. You try to do things beforehand. So you don't have that negative outcome at the end.
Absolutely. And of course, science has shined a light on some of the common deficiencies, which, traditionally wasn't addressed. As you mentioned, the focus was on vitamin C, maybe a multivitamin. And now at least the science has showed us the importance of certain vitamins affecting our mood, normal cell growth, those types of things. So I think, as you mentioned, that balance between science and consumer needs has driven things forward, so we can actually reap the rewards of that advancements.
It's nice. It really is. We are advancing so quickly now that every week is new products come out, new studies, but it is just so exciting being in this field and working in it. So I love it. So
that's a great note to wrap up on. Karen, thank you so much for sharing your expertise and helping our listeners gain a deeper understanding of the supplement space. Your insights have been invaluable.
Well, thank you for having me. It's great to see you all again.
And that's all for today's episode of the Nutra Voice. Please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. And always remember, in a world full of options, knowledge is your best ally in making the right choices for your health. See you next time.